Howdy, McMicken Heights Church. Pastor Matt here, coming at you with the weekly update for November 9th. This Sunday, we're going to be looking at Mark chapter 1, verses 21 through 28, and we'll be looking at the authority of Jesus. He has authority even over demons, and we'll dive into that a little bit more on Sunday. This Sunday, we're also having our Thanksgiving potluck after the service, so we're going to gather together and have a meal. So there was a sign-up sheet that went around last week for kind of helping set up for that event, like before it happens and then tear down after, and as far as for bringing some food and side dishes and whatnot. So if you didn't get a chance to sign up for a dessert or drinks or a side dish and you want to, reach out to us and let us know. The email for Wendy is in the link for the on the email that I sent out, and if you want to just message me and let me know what you're bringing, that works too. I'll make sure that's all relayed to where it needs to go. So we're looking forward to having a fun meal together following the service on Sunday. This time of year, like when it's getting cold and it's getting really windy, it's a time of year that really worries me. And because when it gets windy, that's when trees get knocked over. And when trees get knocked over, that's when power goes out. And when power goes out, that's when the internet goes out, right? And that's a big deal. When the internet goes out, it's a big deal. Now, I know there are more serious issues than the internet going out when the power goes out, but right, when the power goes out, like, and it's a short-term thing, it can be kind of exciting, you know? It's like you light some candles, you get all the flashlights out, you have a fire in the fireplace, you get all snuggly, and it's kind of like we're roughing it in our house. And like, how cool is this? But the longer that the power is out, the less fun that becomes, right? You know, the food that you've sealed away in your fridge is now questionable. Is it still good anymore? Have I lost all the produce and all the meat and everything that's still in there? How long has it been sealed in for? Your house is getting colder and colder, where you could refrigerate your food in your house, right? And your phone battery by this time is died. Your socializing hours are restricted to normal daylight hours because it's dark. And it's just, the longer it takes, the longer that goes, the worse it becomes. And it's in times like this when the power goes out that we realize how important power is, how much we rely upon the power for everyday life. And we take it for granted, and it's when it's taken away that we realize that. And sometimes I feel like that can happen to us in our spiritual lives, where something happens, an event happens, and we feel that we're distanced from God, and we decide not to spend time with Him in the Word. We decide not to spend time at church and fellowship. And you know, at first it can seem like this is kind of a nice little break, like, oh, you know, it's a nice little change of pace. We take a break. You know, I'll be back to it in a little bit. I'll be committed later. And it's not that big of a deal. But the longer that progresses, the longer that we live that way, the more and more drastic the effects are going to be in our life. That we need to be connected to the source. We need to be planted like a tree planted by a stream, right? That's constantly being fed and nourished. You know, we need to be plugged in. And so that was just kind of a reminder to me this week as I was like worried about the lights flickering and coming on, you know, like, well, we're going to lose power. What's going on? You know, and it's just the importance of us staying connected with God throughout the seasons when life is difficult, when we don't want to, when spending time in God's Word is, you know, it doesn't look like chocolate cake. It looks like vegetables, where it's like, I know this is good for me, but I don't want to do it. But persisting through those times and staying connected to the source, being connected to Jesus. I encourage you during this season as we enter the windy season where trees can fall and whatnot. We do have just our upcoming events for the week. We got Bible study on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. They're going through James. Young adults are meeting here at my house on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Operation Christmas Child, we're having our packing party on the 18th of November. So that's coming up. That's 7 p.m. That's a Friday evening. That's going to be at the church. So we'll be packing those shoe boxes. So if we still got time to bring some donations and put them in. I know we still have to kind of do our shopping for those because we're last minute people and wait to the last minute and didn't buy things ahead of time. But and we're also going to have a children's ministry meeting coming up on November 4th here as well. Excuse me, not November 4th. That would be like in the past, December 4th. I'm going to fix that actually on my letter before I send it out. But December 4th will be a meeting for our children's ministry for those that are currently volunteering and those that are interested in volunteering. That's going to be happening after the service on December 4th. And then if you could continue this week to be lifting up families in our church in prayer. We've got a lot of people, our family's getting over RSV that we had. We've got some families with pneumonia and just other nasty colds that are going around. So just be lifting up the body in prayer for health this week as we enter this season. And also for Greg Berglund. He had a biopsy this week, and so if you could be lifting up him and his family in prayer as well, that'd be greatly appreciated. So I think that's all I have as far as the weekly update this week. Hopefully it's a great week. Hopefully you're blessed. It's an amazing time, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. God bless.